Hey guys, it's Klingon Warrior here, and today we'll be explaining equipment, what it is, what it does, and how to get it. Okay, so first of all, equipment is something that you can mount onto your tank. You can have a maximum of 3 per tank, and generally, the only way that you can remove them with them being intact is by paying 10 gold to remove them, and they're generally very expensive for what they do. And so if you don't pay gold to remove them, then they end up being destroyed and you get no credits back and you can't use them on a different tank. Okay, so, by the way, different tanks use different kinds of things. Like, for example, the IS-7 here, because it is a big 130mm gun, it can equip a large caliber tank gun rammer, while something like the first prototype here can equip a medium caliber tank gun rammer. So there are different things like that for the different parts of the tank, and they apply different buffs depending on the nation and the type of vehicle. So if I go to the store here, then you can actually see all of the different equipment modules in the game. They can get up to 750,000 silver on the super heavy spall liner. So first I will cover the different kinds of equipment and what they do. So first of all, there are the suspension enhancements, and what they do is they give you 10% load capacity on your suspension and 20% to durability. So that means you won't get tracked as easily after jumping off a cliff or being shot in the tracks with the enhanced suspension. And you might be able to get that one gun that you don't have the upgraded tracks for, but you just barely can squeeze it in with the enhanced suspension. Then there's the spall liners, and what they do is it actually varies depending on the weight of the spall liner. And so the spall liners, they will protect you from high explosive shells and from ramming from other tanks. And then they also will do a 20% protection of the crew from injuries, so your crew will not be hurt as much, and you will not take as much damage from ramming and explosions. And then there's the camo net. This is one of the cheapest ones, and this is one of only 2 equipment modules that you can mount and unmount without destroying. It is not complex, okay? So what it does is it reduces your chance of being detected after you sit there for, I think it's 10 seconds or something like that. You're down in the corner of your screen at the bottom where the ammo is. Next to that there will be a little camouflage icon, and once it is highlighted in green, that means your vehicle, it has its camo net applied, so you won't be as easily detected then. It's something like a 20% chance, but trust me, it makes a big difference. It's really nice for passive scouts. And then there's ventilation. And essentially, it just gives you plus 5% to all cruise skills. It does pretty much the same exact buff as Brothers in Arms. So yeah, that one's pretty simple. It's good for pretty much any tank. It's just an overall good little booster. And then wet ammo rack increases your ammo rack's durability, so you have a 50% less chance of being ammo racked when you get shot. So that's really good for something like a Bulldog or a Cromwell or a CDC. If you have a tank that gets ammo racked a lot, this is a great choice for it. These are more suspension enhancements. And then there's spall... Oh wait, no, sorry, I already went over that. Here we go, gun rammers. So they give you a minus 10% to loading time. So if you have a tank with a 10-second reload, after you equip this, it will have a 9-second reload, and that's really nice. That can make a big difference in a 1v1 duel with the same tank. Additional Grousers are for German tanks only, I believe, and they give you plus 10% performance on soft ground, so essentially they will give you better ground resistances. And then plus 5% on moderately soft ground. And then here are binocular telescopes. They're the other equipment module that you do not need to destroy to unmount. So this one, it's perfectly free to take off. your tanks. And essentially, it has the same wait time as the camouflage net, so it's very good for passive scouts once again. So once you're stationary for a while, then it will give you plus 25% view range. So that really extends your view range to help spot the enemy vehicles. So this is great for if you're in a light tank and you get up behind a bush on a hill and you can see the whole map. This will help you get just that little bit more view range. And then Coated Optics is essentially binocular telescopes, but it only gives you a 10% bonus, not the 25%. But you don't have to stay stationary. This will be in effect all the time while you're driving, while you're turning, anything. And then there's Cyclone Filter, which gives you plus 50% to engine durability. And essentially this will just keep your engine from being set on fire and being damaged as much. And then the Enhanced Gunlaying Drive. This is really good for medium tanks and tank destroyers with quick firing guns, as well as light tanks, I guess. So it just gives you a nice buff to your aiming speed. CO2 tanks gives you less chance of being set on fire if you get hit in the fuel tanks, 50% less chance. Toolbox. This one is great for your heavy tanks. So if you have an E100 or IS-7 or anything that tends to side scrape a lot, then this is great, because it gives you plus 25% to repair speed, And so essentially everything on your tank will repair a lot faster. So if you're tracked, you'll be up and going without using a repair kit 25% faster than before. Your engine, if it's completely knocked out, it will be repaired a lot more quickly than before. And then there's the vertical stabilizer, and it gives you plus 20% to accuracy during movement. So let's say you're in a light tank circling an enemy, the aiming circle will not be as huge as it usually is, and it will be 20% smaller. So you'll just be more accurate on the move. And I think that is all the equipment. Okay, guys, see ya.